So I'll just push record. Okay, so basically it's just an opportunity for us to introduce you, Amy, and kind of just wanted to kind of catch up with you quickly just to explain to the members a little bit better than I can what it is Faces do on a day-to-day basis and how you help the community.
Okay, no worries. So my name's Amy. I'm one of the family support practitioners here at Faces, and we're a small independent charity based in Goldington in Bedford, but we serve all of Bedford Borough. And our main aim is to support families during times of crisis. We have several projects here. We have a domestic abuse service, so we support those who are victims of low to medium risk domestic abuse. We have a CSE project, so we support those who have experienced or at risk of experiencing any kinds of exploitation and working with young people and with families. We have an early help project here where our early help practitioners support families in their own homes with children, helping with newborns and with toddlers, and that could be around sleeping, eating, lots of difficulties. We run in small independent groups that work with parents to prevent social isolation. We have a spectrum support group, which is a parent carer support group for those who have a child with an additional need. So that's a bit of a peer support group for those, to share stories and tips with other families so that they don't feel alone. The huge basis of our charity is actually our volunteers. If we didn't have our volunteers, we wouldn't have a charity. We were very fortunate last year to win the Queen's Award for Voluntary Service. So that's the MBE for the voluntary service, which we're extremely proud of. And we have a fantastic base of volunteers who work across our services, and they primarily go into families' homes and support those and build up a relationship and support families. And they help with our Lunchbox project, which is our summer holiday and half-term holiday hunger prevention project. So look at that. It's something that we've been doing for several years now, but I think it's coming more to light within the mainstream media around holiday hunger. I think we're all quite familiar with that after Marcus Rashford's campaign. So that is something that we've been doing for several years now. So there's, I'm trying to think of what else, because we've got
there's loads there.
Pockets. Yeah, we work closely with the local authority with something called a House of Industry Fund, which is crisis fundings for those in need that we can help out individuals, families with that. We are able to issue food banks. So we are a very broad service. Basically, it's just aiming to support those in need in our local authority and prevent, them in crisis as well. So it's a bit of a snapshot. I'm sure there's loads that I've forgotten because we have so much, but our website's back to front there, but I'm sure you'll be able to share that with your members.
Yeah, absolutely. So what I was hoping that you could kind of explain to the guys is, so every year, as we kind of explained before we jumped on here, CrossFit Amps will kind of choose a local charity to try and help through the month of December. We run a thing called The Gift. And obviously this year we're having to work with Faces in Bedford. And so what I'm hoping to get from you is what you'd like from the members. What's the best way that our guys can help you this month, basically?
Okay, fab. So we launched last month our Christmas gift appeal. Every year we support families with Christmas gifts to help ease the pressure that Christmas brings, basically. So I read an article the other day that on average a Christmas will cost a family £741. I think that's the average cost that's been released. And that's an extortionate amount of money when families are struggling to make ends meet. So one project that we do at Christmas is our Christmas present appeal, where we will pass on presents to families and children that might not receive a gift. We will be running a Santa's Grotto for our families that we support that are involved with us, but also one for the local community in Goldington. So without those donations, we wouldn't be able to provide that support. So every child will go away with a gift. A family will go away with a box of chocolates and a board game and maybe some books. So that's what we're appealing for, is presents to be able to enable us to do that.
Brilliant. And when we spoke previously, specifically you're struggling with presents for children 11 to 15, was it?
It was mainly the age range of 8 to 12.
Oh,
It's
sorry.
quite hard sometimes to buy presents. You know, teenagers we're pretty much sorted for, because it's just easier. We've spoken to some of our young people at that age bracket, and they said a voucher's just easier for them because they can go on Amazon or they can go to Costa. I think they're like the post office do a one for all. So that gives them a bit more of a choice really, and that freedom to go and get something for themselves. Some of our families, the young people don't ever have that you know, time or the finances to go and do that, so that's really nice for them. I do know, after we had a sort through yesterday, the ones that we've already got, that we are looking for presents for up to 1-year-old girls and 2-year-old boys. You know, we do allow the children to choose presents, so they don't have to be gender specific, but it just, you know, helps us to kind of make sure we're meeting the needs of what we're going to be having come through the door.
Awesome. So so just to recap then, ideally, so 1-year-olds, boys and girls, and then
Yep.
8 to 11-year-olds.
Yeah, about 8 to 12-year-olds, boys and girls. Yeah.
Is there anything? Because I know a lot of the members would be keen to make a donation, but a lot of them haven't got children in that age range. Is there any suggestions that you might give to the stuff?
Well, you're breaking up, Matt. Sorry, I didn't hear that.
I was just saying that if there's any kind of, could you give the members a little bit of a steer maybe on the types of things that would be suitable for that age range, especially if they haven't got kids of that age?
Yeah, no worries. So I have an 8-year-old, and I know that she is into Minecraft and football and everything that, you know, she'll call herself a boy, so so she likes those things. Games, slime is a big thing. Not a fan. Parents aren't a fan of slime, but kids absolutely love it. Legos are really good. You know, those kind of STEM things that are helping them to, you know, build things, some craft materials. Yeah, I'm stuck on that age range, if I'm completely honest with you.
Okay, we'll put a rest together, and I'm sure we'll come up with something. So the final thing that we're running, Amy, is a 12 Days of Christmas charity raffle. We've already had some quite generous donations from some local businesses, and the aim for us is to sell strips a ticket at £5 a go, obviously to raise some money for you guys as well. With the cash, what sort of stuff would you guys would that sort of help with? I think
if you were to make a financial donation
as well, yeah.
Yeah, so if you were to make a financial donation and you would like it to go towards Christmas, for families at Christmas, it might be that we can help families with food. Fuel is a big thing at the moment, so keeping the house warm, and, you know, gas and electric costs are very high, and a lot of our families tend to be on the prepaid meters, which are more expensive to run than if you were on a quarterly or half yearly bill. And some of our families do have to choose between, do we eat or do we heat the house? And eating tends to come first. So it might be that we can support families, if you were to make a financial donation, with those, you know, with the fuel costs or with clothes costs and things like that. So any money that's ever donated goes straight back into supporting families in need. We've seen a massive increase in calls from families, individuals that have never had to access the support from a charity before. We've recently supported a teacher. She was a supply teacher with a 17-year-old son. And it was just, you know, it's really difficult for her to ask for help, as it's a position that she's never been in before. But obviously with COVID, she hasn't been able to work because schools aren't having supply teachers in due to the risk of infection. So our service is needed more, especially in the run up to Christmas. So any donation would go towards supporting those families. Fantastic. But not just so what we find is it's not just Christmas. Then what you find is it's after Christmas.
Yeah.
So families have spent their money, you know, on Christmas, making sure that their children have a fantastic day. And then you've got the 5 months of Christmas, haven't you? That's it's really difficult, and waiting for that next amount of money to come in. And again, that's when families are choosing: are we heating? Are we eating? Are we paying, you know, the rent and the other bills? And it's an extremely difficult time for them.
Yeah. Okay. And then just finally, because I know you're busy, Obviously there's quite a quick for the gifts. Obviously we need quite a quick turnaround. So ideally, when would you have the so we're planning to bring the presents up to you, but ideally, what date would you have those gifts by?
If we could aim by the 16th, that would be fantastic, as we have a massive group of volunteers of ours that haven't been able to work this year, unfortunately, due to COVID. So they're kind of chomping at the bit to get in and help us wrap presents. So by the 16th, if that would be okay, as we have said generally the 14th, so that'll give us time to wrap, you know, the ones that we've received up until that date. And then I appreciate it's a short turnaround for you guys. So if we could say by the 16th.
Awesome. Okay. Well, that's all pretty crystal clear then. We'll go from there. I'll just